So let me show you how you can use Zoho Campaigns. So the first thing you need to do is you want to go to your browser and you want to search for Zoho Campaigns. So if you search for Zoho Campaigns, you can create an account and you can start using Zoho Campaigns. So this is basically an email marketing plan from Zoho that you can use. So if you want to build emails, send emails, build automations, and all those kind of good stuff, Zoho allows you to do that. And their pricing is very cheap and even free sometimes. So if you come to the pricing here, you see that you can start for 14 days trial for free, but you can also get a completely free plan here. And the free plan, you get up to 2K contacts, which means you can have up to 2,000 leads or email addresses. And then you can send up to 6,000 emails per month. You can have 5 users for this free account, and it's free forever, which is good. You can even create sign-up forms. You can even use their ready to use email templates, and you can do compliance check. But if you want to do even more, you have the option to use the standard, which is also very cheap for the price because you pay just 2,300 per month and you can send unlimited emails. You can add email attachments. So if you're using the free, it doesn't look like you can add email attachments. So it might just be better off for you to use the paid one if you want to send emails with, let's say, PDFs and so on. But if you don't want to do that, you can proceed with this one. So all you have to do is just come here, click on get started. I'm going to use the free one in this case. So if you click on get started, you'll be able to create the account for completely free, as we've seen in the dashboard. So I already created an account, but it is very straightforward. You can create an account by just putting your email address and then setting a password. Once you are inside, this is what it's going to look, and it's going to look blank for you. But as you can see, I tested some of the stuff here. All right, so I'm just going to run you down through what you can do here, and then we'll try to set up a simple email. But in the last 30 days, you can see all the contact you have. So you can add contact, you can create workflows and all of that. You can see your new contact, you can see the unsubscribe, the people who unsubscribe, and then you can see the bounces depending on what you set, like the leads, the forms, and all of that, or your funnel even. So this is where we actually find our campaigns. Our campaigns are simply emails that we send. So we have email campaigns, we have SMS campaigns, but we're on the free plan, so we may not be able to use the SMS campaigns. So we are just going to look at the email campaigns for now. So this is where you can set up the different email campaigns like email sequences and all of that. Again, we are going to come back to this, but this is where you can upload contact and manage all of your contacts. So this is where you find all your contacts. This is where you create your list. This is where you create your topics. This is where you sync your services and a whole lot of things that you can do. This is where you see your sign up form. So you can create sign up forms, you can create tags, you can do contact scoring, you can segment your contacts and all of those kind of things that you can do as in your campaign. So if you come to automation, which is usually one of the best things about campaigns or email marketing, you can create workflows. So you can set emails or email automations or campaigns. When people sign up to your form, they should be added to maybe a list, and then that list you send them emails and follow-up email automations, different kind of things that you can do. So we are going to also try to look at that. So for e-commerce, if you sell products, you can connect your e-commerce store. All right, you can connect your e-commerce store and automate your e-commerce follow-ups. Like you can do follow-ups like for purchases, for upsells, for downsells, and all those kind of things. If you come to library, this is where you see your assets. If you come to report, this is where you see your report. So we have just very simple streamlined interface right here. So the first thing, if you want to actually start campaigns or email marketing, you need to have contact. So there are two ways to get this. You can get this through your sign up forms, or you can import them automatically. So if you want to import contact, you want to click on contact. If you come to all contact, you see all of your contacts, but you should be able to import from there. So if you click on all contact, you are going to see all the contact that you had imported if you did. So these are some of the ones that I imported from one of my other email marketing campaigns. But if I wanted to add new ones, I can come here, click on add new, and I can add them in multiples, or I can import them directly. So the best approach is usually to import, because you have them in bulk. So if you want to import your emails or your contact, you can just come here, click on import, and you can select the file. All right, so you can select them based on how you've exported them. So this is like the most common way people do it. You can use a CSV file, and the maximum file allowed is 25 MB. So you need to have downloaded your contact as a CSV file, and you can just upload them. You can upload directly from Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and Box. All right, so that's basically how you upload your contact. All right, so you can do the subscription type. You can select the list where you want all these contacts to join, because when we create our automation, we'll be adding them to a mailing list, and you can even map them. All right, so let's now go back to campaigns. So if you come to campaigns again, we want to create simple email campaigns. So what we want to do is we want to use their templates. To do that, you just come here, click on create a campaign or create campaign, and you can see different kind of campaigns that we can create. So the thing is, when we talk about campaigns, we are basically talking about different kind of emails or different kind of things that we can do with or run as a campaign. So we can create campaign using Zoho forms. All right, can create campaign using Zoho survey. So after they take a survey, they will be added to a campaign. We can do Survey Monkey. We can use Eventbrite. We can use webinar. We can use the regular email, ABA testing, even Zoho meeting, and all of that. But we are going to start with the most basic one, which is regular emails. So we want to send regular emails to our contact. So we click on create new. So this is what we are going to call our campaign. So let's say I want to say this is for maybe people want to market on TikTok. So I want to send them emails. So this email is going to be like a sequence. All right, we can select the topic. All right, so I've created these topics before. So we come here, it will be under marketing. So this topic is under the contact. We want to categorize them in different topics so that we can send them personalized emails. So for instance, we have different topics that we cover. So the people who are interested in marketing may not be the people who are interested in, let's say, something like my personal story and all of that. So that's why this topic is important. So we selected marketing, you click save and proceed. So this is where you want to select your subject. All right. So here you select the subject, which is basically the title of the email. So let's say we want, this is the first email they are going to see. So we say, welcome to this class. All right. So this is the first email they are going to see. You add a pre-header. A pre-header is basically a subheader. You can say, don't miss this. All right. And you can personalize it. If you come to personalize here, you can, let's say, when they fill the form or they give you their emails, you also collected their name. So if you want to personalize it, you can just say contact first name. So it calls it out directly from the subject line. In most cases, you don't do this, all right? You do it in the body of the email, all right? But if you have any personalized reason or any personalized tag that you want to use, you can add it from here. All right, you can do emojis. You can add an emoji like a smiley face, something like that. But this can come off as spammy, so we are not going to do that now. All right, you can just click on save and continue. So that is the subject. And then we want to add the sender. Who is sending this email? Of course, it is us. So we want to select the sender. So I'm just going to use my name here, which is I'm just going to use Noel in this case, just to keep it simple. And then this is the sender email address. All right. So we need to authenticate this for you to send. So I'm going to make a separate video on how to do this, but you have the email address here. All right. So you can select another different email, but this is the only one I have. All right. So I already made a video on how you can do something like this using system.io. So they are a bit similar. All right. So you can take this if you want to track your reply to, let's say, maybe a different email. All right. So you can track that, but we are just going to keep it this way because I have this email linked to my Zoho mail. All right. Again, I've created a video on how to use Zoho mail, and this was one of the videos I created. And then we want to click on save so they can reply to this email address and we'll be able to see it inside of our Zoho mail. So these things, the both of them, they are different. So for Zoho campaigns, we use it to send campaigns. For Zoho mail, we use them to receive mail. So we now need to add the people who receive these emails. So these are people from our list and the contacts that we have added. So remember I talked about contact and list. So you come here and click on select lists. All right. For instance, out of my 14 contacts, I have these guys who are under different lists. All right. So I'm just going to use this one on my sample list. Let me use my sample list. So only people inside this list will be able to receive this email that I'm about to send. But if I wanted multiple lists to receive it, I can check all the lists. All right. So I'm going to uncheck one and just keep it to one. And then I click on save. All right. So we are now ready to start creating the actual content of our email. So you click on create content. And here you can use pre-designed templates, you can use basic templates, you can use HTML code editor if you like to do things your way. You can use plain text editor. You can even upload your own HTML and you can see your recently sent email that you can use. So we are going to keep this simple. So we are going to use a pre-designed template. So if you click on pre-designed template, you'll be able to select from different categories, and Zoho has some very beautiful design templates that you can use here depending on your goal. So this is going to be our first email, so we can use the welcome email, so you can select it if you want. So we have different of them here. So we have them depending on the things that you are offering. So I'm just going to keep this again as simple as possible so that this video doesn't get too lengthy. So I'm just going to select this first one here. So you can click on select template and then we will get into the editor proper. So in the editor, we can change everything that we have right here to suit what we want to send or to suit our own marketing goals. So this is what our editor looks like, and it is a block editor. So we can do a lot of things here, but you remember we're on the free plan, so we cannot add attachments like PDF and so on, but we may not need it at the moment. So you can add box text, insert HTML, you can add a table, you can add dividers, you can add buttons, you can add footers, you can add text, you can add image, and you can add text plus images. But all these things here, as you can see, we have, this is drag and drop, so we can delete everything that we have right here. So let's say I wanted to add, let's say, text here. You can just come here, drag the text. If you click on the text, you select the kind of text, either header, body, or subheader. So let's say we wanted to add a body text, we can drag it and just drop it wherever we want it to go. So let's say we want to keep it somewhere here. This is the body text, and we can write what we want to write right here. So we have all the editing we can do, like the color of the background of this text. All right, we can leave it to be uniform, or we can change it to what we want. So let's say I wanted to make that white. I can just come here, select white. So you can see it becomes white. So the editor is very simple to use, and these are buttons. So if you wanted to add an image, you can repeat the same process. You can come here, select an image, drag it, and select the kind of image you want, either 2 images or 1. We are going to keep it to 1. You can just click it, but you can just drag it to wherever you want it to go to. You can come here, just hold here, and you can drag it to wherever you want to move it to. So let's say I want to keep it somewhere here. You can just say drop it there, and you can click on upload, and you'll be able to upload the image. So I have this very old image of many years ago, so I can just say use this, and the image is going to come right here. So if you wanted to add a link to this image, you can put it. You can put the link here, like an external URL, if you wanted this image to be clickable. All right, but I do not want it to be clickable. And you can add alt text, you can add titles, you can even add border to it, you can pad it if you wanted, and we are okay with that. So if you wanted to add a button, again, the process is the same. So let's close this. You can save. Make sure to save. Once you are done, you click on done, and then you'll be able to send that. You'll be able to send it now. All right, but before you send it, this is a preview of what your email is going to look like, and we have some errors here. So it says the default image found. Your email contains a default image. It's ideal to use an image relevant to your campaign. Of course, you want to pay attention to that. So it says we also found an invalid URL in your link. So you can come here, click on edit before you send it. So it loads back the editor, and you can edit it further as pleases you. All right. So you want to make sure that you keep everything to your taste. For instance, this image, we can basically just delete it or change it or remove it. All right, anything you want to do, you can do. So you can come here, click it on edit or change, and you can change that. So if you wanted to add more things, you can come back here, click on this arrow that takes you a bit back, and you can add more things. Always remember to save, but you can see how soon it saves. You can help them save. You can redo and undo and all of that. If you wanted to add a button, you can just click on the button. You have different kind of buttons that you can add. You can drag it and drop it here. The button, you can change what the button says. You can select the URL. You can say it should open in a new window. And once you are done, again, you click on done. So because it's a URL, we might need to add a link there. So let's say I just want them to probably go to my website. If they click on that link, I can just say that, and I can say go. So once we are done, we should be ready to send. Again, you can preview and edit everything right here. So anything you don't want, you can edit or you can delete. So to delete, you just click on this button here and you can delete or duplicate it as it pleases you. So I'm just going to click on proceed and we'll be ready to go. So we'll get to the phase where we can send our campaigns to our audience. So we can send it immediately or we can send it later. All right. So if you wanted to send it later, you can come here, select the date you want to send it, and then the time and the time zone. All right. You can send it in batches. You can send it by the time zone. You can send it by the recipient optimal time zone. So we are just going to use send fixed time zone. And then this is a preview. We want to make sure that everything here, this error, we clear it before we start sending. We have advanced options here and we can do email tracking. We are doing complete tracking, link tracking. We are doing complete tracking. You can track link using Google Analytics. You can track links or video views using Vista. And then you can reply tracking. We don't want to do that now, but you can basically configure things that you want, like your calendar and your response action. So if you're ready to send, you can just schedule when you want to send. So let's say you schedule the time. Let's say you want to send this somewhere, maybe tomorrow, and then we can select the time when you want it to go out and then the time zone. All right. So for us to use this sending later, we might need to upgrade. So we are just going to say send now, and then we can say send immediately. And it's going to go to that my list. All right. And we have sent our first email campaign. All right. So this is how you send the campaigns. Let's talk about the automations here, and then we'll wrap up this video. So for the automations, you can just come here, click on automations. But before we talk about automations, let's talk about the list again and the topics. So you remember we talked about topics. We can manage topics right here. So you can create the different topics that you want your emails to be about. For instance, so far I have two. I want to talk about marketing, and these are my guys, my friends I just want to discuss with. You can create a new one. So let's say I want to create a new one. Let's say maybe funnels or sales funnels. I can just say maybe anybody that is under this list will just talk about people who are interested in just funnels alone. All right. People and funnels. I can save it. So everybody who is coming on this list will be under this topic. All right. So that's how you use topic. You can group them under a particular product. You can edit. You can do a whole lot of things there. So let's talk about also sign up forms before we talk about automations. So you use sign up forms to collect the leads that you import. So if you are starting, you do not have leads. So you need a way to collect these leads. To do that, you come here, you click on create form. So your form is simply to basically collect leads, collect emails and names. All right. So we can choose a template and we can build our own from scratch. So let's use a template because we are a bit lazy. So you click on choose template, and then you can select the kind of template, the kind of form you want to use. If you want an embedded form or log forms, you can come here. Let's say you want to do a banner form. These are the ones you can use on, let's say, your websites and all, and they'll be added to your links directly. You can do long forms where you can select like name, emails, other informations and all. And you can also use save templates. So let's say you want to use compact form, which are like small forms. You can just select the one that you want to use, and you can select what you want to. So let me just use this one because it's simple, but ideally this is the one I should use. And here you can also select what you want to receive. All right. So we can say we want the names or the emails. So this is the email here. All right, we can come back to input field and we can add like something else like a button. We can add, this is a text that we can edit, and this is the page body that we can also edit. We can change this. This is an image. We can change everything here. All right. And once you are done, you can click on proceed and save. All right. So this is going to be our form. So this is going to be our form. So this form, we can launch it and link it to a list. All right. So this is going to be the sign up form for this. So you can just copy this form and give it to somebody and they can just sign up and they will be added to your contacts here. So if you want to embed it on your website, you can just come here, click on get code, and you can use this code, go and embed it directly on either your WordPress website. If you want to use HTML codes, you come here, select HTML code. If you want it to be a button, you come here, you just select a button. And as you can see, Zoho is actually very flexible. They give you a lot of options for basically free. So this is how you create these sign up forms. So let's talk about the automation part. So if you come to the automation here, this is where you start building sequences, and you can come here, click on create workflows. So workflows are basically automations. They are also called sequences depending on what you want to do. So the idea here is very simple. So let's say we want to sell something to people and we want to send them emails for, let's say, like 10 days. All right. We can say on the first day that they come, add them to a list, and first day send them email, second day send them another email, third day send them another email, and so on and so forth. You see here we have 10 days and we have two contacts. All right. So we have here where you can nurture people and then sell to them later. We have re-engagement, people who fell out from one particular stuff. We can use this and re-engage them and redirect them back to what we want. We also have customer retention. We have e-commerce for people who want to sell products. We can do follow-ups. We can do simple abandonment. We can do conditional workflows where time-based workflows, activity-based, and a whole lot of that. So again, we are going to keep it very simple. And then you come here, you select, you want to use this template. So the idea here is if somebody fills our form, we'll create different emails that we get to them. All right. We create different emails that we get to them. So it looks like we cannot use this unless we upgrade, but I'm just going to walk you through how it works. So let's say after somebody submits the form that we just created, we want to send them an email. All right. We want to send them an email they want. So to select that, you just come here, click on select form. And then we want to select the specific form. Remember that we created plenty forms already. So I did not name the last form I created, so I'm just going to select this one. So make sure to name your forms so it doesn't get confusing. So anybody that signs up through this form we've created, they will be sent emails. All right. So we can also come here, click on select the email. But we have other things that we can do here, a whole lot of things. We can move them to a list, remove them from list, assign them to a tag, add score, remove tag, manage subscriptions, wait conditions. So we can say wait after 5 minutes, you send them this, or even remove them from the entire workflow. We can even put them to our CRM, push data, and we can create tags. But again, we are going to keep it very simple because simple is significant. So after the first email, we can say wait after like maybe 24 hours, or after like 2 hours, you can send another email. So this is a wait time. We can do hours and we can do days. So we can say maybe after 2 days, you send them another email. This is where you select the time, and this is also when you select the days you want to send emails. So let's say we don't send emails on Sundays and on Saturdays. We can select that and then you click on save. So we still have another part of this automation where we can either push them to a CRM. All right. So after 2 days, after sending them the email, we can send them to a CRM. So we have a lot of things we can do here. We can even remove that. We can add another step here. You can click on this drop down and you can add another step, like send them another email again. So you can bring here, put send email again, and you can send them another email. All right. So this is basically how you build simple automations right here. And this is how you can use the Zoho campaign as a whole. I hope this video was helpful. If yes, please like the video. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section, and I'll put a link to Zoho in the description. And please subscribe. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Once you are done, you can come to more here. You can clone it, you can download it, you can save it as a template, but you can also publish it. So we cannot use this feature now because we're on the free plan, but Zoho is not so expensive, so you can upgrade and use it for free. Thank you for watching. I'll see you.